If you begin to notice that the doors you once leaned on are suddenly closing, if relationships that once felt unshakable are breaking apart, if opportunities that seemed certain are slipping through your fingers, understand this is not always the hand of the enemy, but often the hand of God preparing you for something greater. Because when He shifts you, He first removes every counterfeit support, so you can no longer rely on your own strength. Just as Abraham was called to leave his father's house without a clear map, Genesis 12:1. So too you are being stripped of comfort zones, and though it feels like loss, it is actually a divine redirection toward destiny. Because Romans 8:28 reminds you that all things, even heartbreak, rejection, and closed doors, work together for your good. And this painful pruning is proof that heaven is positioning you for growth you cannot yet see, for the seed must first be buried in darkness before it breaks forth into new life. And that darkness you feel right now may be God's hidden cocoon where transformation begins. So do not despise the season of isolation, for in silence, God speaks the loudest, and in emptiness, He pours the most. If you sense an unexplainable restlessness within your spirit, as though the place where you stand suddenly feels too small, too confining, too outdated for who you are becoming, this holy discontent is a sign that the Spirit is stirring you toward a new assignment, because you are not meant to remain stagnant when He is calling you higher. Just like Israel could not remain in Egypt once the appointed time of deliverance came. Exodus 12. And you will find yourself unable to settle for what once satisfied you, unable to enjoy the shallow waters when your soul is crying out for the deep. And while others see your dissatisfaction as ingratitude, in truth it is divine agitation, because comfort can be a coffin if you never leave it, and God will shake your spirit violently until you cannot ignore the pull anymore, for He knows the enemy would rather see you comfortable and complacent than dangerous and advancing. So He sets fire under your feet so you begin to move, and the question is, will you run from the discomfort or run toward the calling He is unveiling? If your nights are filled with unusual dreams, visions, or repeated impressions that will not let you go, then you are being awakened to the supernatural whispers of God. Because Amos 3:7 declares He does nothing without first revealing His plans to His servants the prophets. And though you may not call yourself a prophet, you are still His vessel, chosen to receive glimpses of what is coming. And sometimes these visions are not grand, but simple nudges. A face, a phrase, a number that repeats until it burns into your spirit, and the enemy wants you to dismiss it as coincidence. Yet it is a spiritual language, a coded message from heaven, training you to recognize His voice in the storm. Because before the shift arrives, He marks your mind so you cannot deny what He is orchestrating. And when you wake up unsettled but stirred, that is not anxiety but divine preparation. For Joel 2:28 promises that in the last days He will pour out His Spirit on all flesh, and the fact that He is tugging at your dreams is the evidence you are stepping into a realm where His purpose will demand more clarity and more courage. So take heed, because ignoring divine whispers today may cost you tomorrow's breakthrough. If opposition against you has intensified, if people who once celebrated you suddenly turn cold, jealous, or even hostile, rejoice, because you are on the cusp of elevation. For 1 Peter 4:12 warns us not to be surprised at fiery trials, as though something strange were happening. And this sudden resistance is not random, but confirmation that hell recognizes what heaven is about to release in your life. Because the enemy only fights what he fears. And when your destiny is near, distractions, betrayals, and spiritual attacks will rise like a flood. Yet Isaiah 59:19 says, when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord will lift up a standard against him, meaning the very warfare you face is proof that God's banner is already over you. And though your heart aches from false accusations and loneliness, do not misinterpret the rejection, because those who cannot go where you are going must be cut away before the shift arrives. And you will see that what they meant for evil God will use to catapult you forward. So rather than shrinking back in fear, stand firm and recognize the shaking as heaven's announcement that your new season has already begun. If blessings begin to fall into your lap in rapid succession, unexpected provision, sudden favor, doors opening with ease where once they were locked, know that this acceleration is not luck, but divine confirmation that God is aligning your life for a major shift. Because Deuteronomy 28:2 declares that blessings shall overtake you when you walk in obedience. And the sudden overflow is a sign that you are being resourced for the next level of assignment. For God never promotes without first equipping, and the hidden years of waiting were not wasted, but preparation for such a time as this. So when unexpected opportunities arise, do not shrink back in false humility, because false humility dishonors the giver, and instead rise boldly knowing that what you carry was meant to impact nations, families, and generations, because Ephesians 3:20 promises, He is able to do exceedingly abundantly beyond what you could ever ask or think. And when the floodgates open, you must move quickly, because the window of favor is strategic, orchestrated for maximum impact, and those who hesitate in unbelief may miss what was meant to transform not just their life but the lives of those connected to them. So take the blessings not as a final reward but as holy fuel for the mission ahead. And now, as you look at these signs, closed doors that cut away dead weight, holy restlessness that stirs your spirit, prophetic whispers that invade your dreams, battles that reveal your next promotion, and blessings that overtake you with divine speed, understand that God does not move randomly but with precision. And if these signs converge in your life, then you are standing at the edge of a holy transition, a threshold between the familiar and the unknown, and your response will determine whether you step into destiny or retreat into delay, because faith is the currency of movement, and without it you cannot please God. Hebrews 11:6. So rise up now, shake off fear, silence the doubts, and declare with boldness that you will not miss this divine moment. For this is not just another season, but a prophetic shift designed to awaken your purpose, refine your spirit, and position you for glory beyond imagination. And the world is not waiting for another voice. It is waiting for yours. So step into the shift, for your time has come, and heaven itself is watching to see how you will answer the call.